Then I started to think about, can you imagine yourself, right now you are from such a good school. Would you imagine yourself to go stay in an orphanage 24 hours? You know what kind of children stay in orphanage? They were people of street people. They never learn how to behave with the elders. They always talk violently. They even abuse you. They physically abuse you. They abuse you verbally. So in that situation, I decided to stay in that orphanage and continue my education somehow. But tell me, how many of you would like, if in case, God forbid, such situation arises, would you be able to stay in an orphanage? Would you be able to stay in an orphanage? Why? You think your lifestyle is more important than your career? Had I not chosen that orphanage that day, I would not have been here speaking to you in front of you today. If, in case, in my life, if I have to go that orphanage again, I will go 100 times in my life. Because there was the situation where I learned never to give up. That was the place I learned never to give up no matter what happens what. What matters for me was my education. Not my food, not my luxurious life, not a good sleep. Nothing was important for me. All that was important for me was my education to continue. Had I not chosen it that day, I wouldn't have been here today. So it's never ever think that you can't do this, you can't do that. If you have to do the difficult thing in your life in order to get something good in future, do it. Do it without giving a second thought. Just do it. I don't have much time. I don't want to take the precious time of yours because our speaker is. I have number of situations where orphanage life had been tough. You know, we had a very strict, what we call the one who take care of the orphanage. We were not supposed to waste our food. You know, today when you get your food, you tell your mother, don't give me this, give me that. This is that and this is that. There was a situation when somebody by mistake threw food in the dustbin in the orphanage. We all were supposed to take a spoon of that food from the dustbin and eat it. I felt it very bad. I felt it very tough life then. But then I realized what is the value of food. I had to eat the food of dustbin. You know the dustbin, have you seen the dustbin of your school? If I throw a plate full of food and I just bring it out and ask you to take that food one spoonful, could you take that in your mouth? No? You won't take that in the mouth. But once you take that food in the mouth, you will understand the value of food. You will understand what is the value of food. Why did she give us? Because in that orphanage to collect 1 rupees, to get 1 rupees for every child was very tough. They had no mother. Somebody had mother, somebody had no father, somebody had a drunkard father, somebody had no hope. So that was the situation. For them, people used to collect money to feed them. And those students, by mistake or wantedly in fact, they threw the food. Some couple of students or the children threw the food in dustbin. So then they were made to realize how important the food is. In the meanwhile, there have been many situations. Here, you take warm water to take bath in the morning in December or January. We were supposed to, take bath at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, even 5 o'clock in the morning and come down 5:30 sharp down to study in that orphanage. That also from the cold water, not from that warm water which you get at home. Situation happened, there are many incidences which time does not permit me to speak, which taught me that what is most important for me is to go, to never give up. The most important lesson of my life is just go on and never give up, no matter what comes to your life. What is most important for you is you getting, your education. Most important things for you. Again from Kolkata, I came to Hyderabad. Even here, I had no money to stay in luxury hostels or even to stay with my parents. My brothers used to stay in some lodge. I did not stay being a girl. So I had to choose again an orphanage where I started working as a volunteer and then learning and at the same time continuing my education in graduation and in masters. When I came to masters, I had to give up. I had to leave my volunteer work and focus more on my studies, because then I thought my studies are most important than just volunteering. So for that, I left orphanage, and then I shifted to with my brothers in some room, and then I started teaching as a part-time teacher and continued my studies. So since intermediate, I am not at all taking money from my parents and from my family for my education. I have been doing it independently. So what I just want to tell you is, for your education, luxury does not matter. Money does not matter. What matters is your determination. Once you determine that you have to do something, you will find out your way. You will find out your way how to do it. And fortunately, you have number of institutions in Hyderabad. They are ready to help you in all the way, financially, motivationally, every way, in any way they are there to help you out. Today's motivation speech or this get together is one among of their efforts. Right. So all I would say is, there's a huge story of mine. I would just say that in just 2 minutes more, you have to have each every day. In order to do something in life, you should have 4 E's in your life. First is your ethics. Your ethics has to be very strong. See, if your ethics are strong, ethics you understand. Ethics means to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. You have to find out what is right and what is wrong. Your inner conscience will tell you what is right and what is wrong. Your ethics has to be strong, first of all. The second E, what I believe, you should have an education. Once your ethics are strong, it is not to live a life. You have to learn to live a life, to do something like, you should have an educational background. You must have an educational background. You must study well. No matter which medium you study, no matter which subject you are studying, whether you are studying science, humanity, whatever you are studying, that has to be, you should try to acknowledge, take as much knowledge as you can. So education has to be very strong. You should try to inculcate all the good of education available to you. The third E, I would say, empowerment. You should be empowered. You should be empowered to speak. Whenever you are set to speak up, you should speak up. For example, right now, someone is asking you, why are we here? None of you are speaking. Doesn't matter even if you say wrong. What is going to happen? When time comes, you should speak up. Don't be silent. You should be silent when you don't have to do anything with that matter. But you should speak up when you are supposed to speak. Do not be silent. You should empower yourself mentally. Fine if I am wrong. I have a very nice formula for every wrong. I'm sorry, sir. I'll learn. Fine if you say something, sir asked you something. You say something, you are wrong. Sorry. It's okay, no matter, nothing will happen. You are a student. Even the people who have completed their job, they make mistakes. And they say sorry. You also have all the right to speak up and say sorry. But when you say, your communication has to be very polite. It has to be very convincing. It has to go in a way that no one should get irritated. No one should get offended. Speak up. Do not be silent. Speak up. What you will speak, when you speak up, you learn half of the things. When you don't speak up, you're losing things. You don't learn things without speaking up. Speak up in the classroom, I'm telling you. The most important thing for a student is to question yourself, question your teachers. You have all the right. Your most important thing for you is your right of a student. Right of a student is to know your subject. Ask your teachers when you don't understand. Ask politely. Ask once, ask twice, ask thrice. For if today she does not work, tomorrow she will definitely work on the subject. She already and come up and tell you the things. The most important right of a student is to know the subject. If you have the subject, you have the right to know about that subject. Most important thing in your life. Your degree, your master, your marks does not matter as much You learn in the classroom by speaking up, by knowing, by introspecting the things. So empower yourself to question, empower yourself to speak up. That is my third E. And the fourth E is economy. You have the economy strong. But that economically strong is not part of your life right now. That is after you build up your career. You should choose a career where you can have a good economy, where you can help others. Your economical means should always be the intention to help others. See all of us untrust people. They are all good, they are helping us. What is the intention of economy? What is the intention of earning money? To help people like you and me and many others. So you should learn, you should make your money with the intention that you will help others. Believe me, you will earn a lot. You will earn a lot of satisfaction. My first salary I have been giving in charity here and there. Wherever possible I am giving it. I am earning a lot of peace of mind. So these 4 E's you should keep in mind. First, you should have ethics. Second, you should have education. This age of yours is to get ethics and education. And third I said empowerment. You should empower yourself. Empower to speak up. Empower to question yourself. You can question your parents also. Why don't you send me to school? I want to go to school if they ask me not to go to school. Believe me, I did not attend 2 of my own brothers and sisters' marriage just for my education. 2 of my own brothers. हमारे यहाँ पे क्या होता है? Cousin brothers की भी शादी होगी. Even if my cousin brother sister is to be married, we plan it 10 months before. We buy new clothes. We take leave from school. Some of us be doing. I just left her and I had no exam also. I left because I had my exam 1 month after the marriage. Even though I said I will not compromise with my studies. So empower yourself to speak up in front of your parents also. If you find that my education is more important than attending a function or a shadi, anywhere, you say, I want to study at home, parents, but speak in a polite way. I want to study, I don't want to attend school. If you can, these small sacrifices will build a big mountain of your success. I'm telling you, the small sacrifices of your life will build a great mountain which no one can break. And the fourth, I said economy. After doing all these things, you should have to integrate all these things. You should be ethically empowered, have good education, and with this ethical mind, you have to have a good economy with which you will have intention to help others. Alright. And I said you should celebrate Eid. These were the 4 E. I stand for me is your interest. You should have interest for all these things. If you don't have interest, you could do nothing. I'm very thankful to all of you, and I congratulate all of you that you all have the interest to sit here and listen to us. This shows you all are ready to do something. You also give a clap to yourself. Please give a clap to yourself. Give a clap to yourself. I'm so happy to see that all of you are interested to listen to us. That you have the interest in you. Similarly, you have the interest to know your subject. So that interest should always be like a fire in you. You should have interest to know all the good things in the world. And you should have interest to distinguish between all the good and bad in the world. What is required, what is not required for you in the world. So that's very good. And the D stand for me, for this E, is determination. For doing all these things, you should have a strong determination. If you don't have determination, it's tough. You determine, I will do, and I will do. And you will do. Okay, without taking much of the time, I would say, and I would tell you, a very all the best for your future endeavors. I pray all of you, shine. Always try to think of a star. Always have an aim. Always be focused. And never ever give up. Okay, the most important lesson of everyone's life is no matter what comes in your life, never ever give up. Okay? So all the best. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Thank you.